Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Always, man. I'm great, great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing absolutely great, man. And this topic today, I hope folks give me a little feedback. I'm always asking for feedback and comments. And, don't be scared to holler at Coach. Don't be scared to holler at me. Share whatever it is you'd like to share, whatever comment you'd like
Mm.
to share. And a lot of these topics be very touchy, feeling emotional topics. And definitely today, I want to talk about something where I'm sure people have their perspective, their opinion, their belief, the way they feel about it. But I just want to always share this with you and make sure that I'm very transparent about this. Just because you have a perspective or an opinion or a belief or the way you feel about it, it doesn't make it true unless you can bag it up. And so I want to just bring facts. And if it's my opinion, I share with you that it's my opinion, but I want to bring some facts. And if I tell you that something is a fact and you have something that can go against it, don't tell me about it. Just show it to me. That's all you got to do is show it to me. And I love to receive it. And anytime anyone would like to come on the show, we got over 200 and some videos out now. And speak against something that has been said, I'd love to have you on the show. All you got to do is shoot
Mm.
me your email address. There it is right there. Don't just be smart in the comment section. There go the email address. Come on and chop it up with Coach and let him know, what you got going
Ah,
on. Yeah, chop it up with him. And make sure you go out to our website, man, and see the work we're doing, and go to our Facebook page, Second Nature for Children, and see the work that we're doing. And that's another reason, Coach, I never ever have to worry about anybody coming at me because my work speaks for itself day in and day out in the community and with children. That's one thing I never, ever, ever have to worry about anybody coming at me the wrong way. Because if you're not putting the work in like I'm putting in, I'm the wrong one to be messing with. So I can talk it because I bag it up every day when I'm with children. So as you come in and share, like, hit that comment section, man. Let us know what's going on. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We should be, like I say, Coach, we should have 1 million subscribers right now. But it lets you know that us as a people, we not trying to hear the truth. What you got to
yes. I just gotta say it's levels to living, man. Day in, day out, I'm finding out it's really levels to living. And you meet people where they are, and you hopefully what you say or even some things you do could inspire them to make them see things just a little different, to make them take their life to another level. I mean, that's all you can do.
Yeah, that's
You
all
know,
we can
that's it.
do.
That's all you can do.
Absolutely. And that's why I tell the truth. And whether you can handle the truth or not, that's on you. But one thing I've learned in life that if I don't tell the truth, then that's shame on me. I've learned that. But now, if you can't handle the truth, now that's shame on you. And you got to deal with that. So here comes some more truth right now. And I want to talk to you, Coach, about how to make a relationship or a marriage work. Yeah. I told you it's going to be kind of crazy tonight. Because a lot of us are struggling with this
Mm,
relationship thing. We're struggling with this relationship thing. And the first thing I want to say before I get started, and I want, as I go through some things, I want people to kind of take note of some things that I'm saying and so how I ended up. And the first thing I got to say is remember this. And I think a lot of us, this has messed a lot of us up through our journey in dealing with relationships. We got to learn how to be truthful and be honest with
mm,
ourselves.
mm.
Yeah, we got to stop. In other words, we got to stop lying so much. We got to
No matter uno. Yep,
We got to
yep.
stop. Yeah, we got to start lying so much. And we got to stop worrying about if I tell the truth, I know it's going to hurt him or her feelings. I know it's going to hurt them. So I'd rather just keep it from them, keep lying. So remember that one of the things we got to do that if we want to make a relationship or a marriage work, and it may split it up, but it may be better for the long haul than to or
Yeah,
continue
yeah,
to keep going through a lot of mess. You understand what I'm saying?
yeah,
So the first
yeah.
thing to remember is to let's start telling the truth. And I know that that's gonna split a lot of things up when we start telling the truth. I already know, but we got to start being truthful and being honest with ourselves when it comes to a relationship, a marriage. And this is what we got to always remember. We got to always remember this right here. Here goes some facts. We got to always remember to be successful in some things in life. It come with putting things together. It ain't always just this one thing is what's gonna help. No, when you're talking about a relationship and marriage, it come with putting things together. It's like if you want to live a healthy and productive life, you will never live a healthy and productive life until you learn how to balance your mind, your body, and your soul together. That's a fact. You may think you're doing well, but if you haven't learned how to balance those three areas together. And then what happens a lot of times when we get to a certain age or we've been living away for so long that we won't listen to no one till we think that we're always right. And so we'll never balance those things out because we continue to do things our own way. And we got to get out of that mess. We got to sit down with ourselves and we got to take inventory that if somebody is saying something right, damn, maybe I need to kind of check some things out with myself.
Mm.
So but that comes with accountability. But and that's we'll do
Mm.
that. We'll do that some other time. And if you want complete fitness, if you want to get in shape, you got to learn how to balance. See, here go a combination of things again. If you want to be fit, you got to learn how to put nutrition, weight training, and cardio. You got to put them together. It's not just one thing gonna do it. I had over the years so many people, if I do sit-ups, will I lose my stomach? I mean, I've literally heard that for a million years. No, you got to wait. What about your diet? You just gonna keep eating what you want to eat. Yeah, you're just gonna keep. No, it's a combination of things that you have to put together if you want to be successful. So when we talking about a relationship, a marriage, for them to be successful, now this is what I want everybody to hear. It comes with a combination of things. If you want your relationship or your marriage to be successful, it comes with a combination of things. Here goes some facts. But for the first thing you have to look at is what's causing the problems. That's the first thing you got to look at. When you start talking about a relationship, when you start talking about marriages, you got to first look at, what are the problems? Think about that. So let's look at a couple. It's some more of them, but we just going for time restraint. We just gonna look at a couple of them. And now study shows that most people say that they get married because of love. They say they get married because of love. And that's about 90% of people. Now stay with me with this right here. 90% of people saying that they get married because of love. We're in 2025. But we see that love alone it won't keep a relationship or marriage together
True.
because 75% of those 90% that say they was in love have a lack of commitment. I just want you to hear these numbers right here. So I'm letting you know right now that you got to put things together because love alone won't make a relationship or a marriage work. It won't do it because
Mhm.
75% has a lack of commitment, 59.6% infidelity, 57.7 are too much conflict in the family, 45.1 got married too soon, 36.7 has financial issues. 34.6 is dealing with some type of substance abuse. 23.5 is dealing with some type of battering or some type of domestic violence. Yeah, and 18.2 is dealing with some type of severe disease or some physical incapacitation or incapacity. So what I'm saying is now you know that someone really loves you, or you gonna really find out if they love you. if you mess around and get ill. Yeah,
Yes, sir. Yes,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. That's what they talk about, that
Yes,
physical
sir, man.
and coach.
Mm.
I'm gonna stop right there for a second. I'm gonna let you go in. You really would find out how somebody care about you if you mess around and get incapable physically, or you mess around and get ill. You'll really find out.
Mm.
What you want to share so far, coach? And
Now
before
you
coach go
saying
in,
you
I can't hear you.
huh?
I can hear you now. Go.
Okay, what you just said about you can really find out if someone care about you, love you when you get ill.
Mm,
And I just remember years ago someone uh having cancer and a husband just cut out. I don't know emotionally, physically, mentally he couldn't deal with it, but he cut out.
mm,
And it so happened, you know, after that she beat it. But here's the karma. He ended up getting it, cancer, but they were already split up, and she went on, found somebody else, whatever. So I know people are people, man, at the end of the day. That's what keeps me grounded. People are people, especially when you're dealing with people. People are people, you know. And you don't know all that's in that person's background. I'm talking about the experiences. I'm talking about DNA. I'm talking about all of that. You don't know all, you know. You see what you see, you like what you like, that you hear what you hear, and you roll it. And when you really start living, you know, certain things start popping out, you know. How do you deal with it? Some people are already in. I'm talking about all the way in there. How do they deal with that?
mm,
You know? And I know it's kind of uncomfortable for people to ask certain questions because they don't want to blow back, to push back. But listen, man, you invest in your life, every aspect of your life, and you putting it with someone else. Man, there's no question off the table. Every question you think about asking that could affect you, you need to ask.
mm,
If they got a problem with that, hey, okay, my bad. That's the way I see that. You know what I mean?
mm,
They spending habits, their priorities, all that stuff, man. If you dealing with someone who's what they call a spendthrift, always gotta buy, 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 and you not like that, y'all gonna have problems. Y'all gonna have problems. And then we talk about the money issue or who's bringing in more and what have you. Y'all gonna have some issues, you know. But like it's first and foremost, you got to be honest with yourself. Why are you doing this? Right? It's not too long ago this term came up, situationship.
mm,
It came up for a reason
mm,
because a lot of so-called relationships develop out of just a situation.
mm,
Okay. In reality, that's all they are. People just rolling with it because they're already in, you know what I mean? So they figure, well, let me roll with it and see. And I'm talking about both male and female.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So you got to be honest with yourself. Are you ready to lock in with this person? You know, I'm talking about for the long haul. If not, let them know. You know, don't string them along, knowing that you really don't want to lock in for the long haul. Let them know straight up. You know, but people are people. We live in society where, hey, man, it looks good on paper. It looks good in the public eye. You know, You got a roof over your head, everything looks good. But as time goes on, man, the real is gonna come out. Can you handle it when it comes out? All in all, I take marriage is a beautiful thing, man. If both parties are on the same page,
Mhm.
man, this is what we doing. We locking in.
Absolutely.
Everything is, yeah. Because in most cases, you have both parties earning, and you can't beat that. Every week, every other week, whatever, or even you got a business or whatever, stuff rolling in. Y'all can really do some things, man, if that's what y'all want to do, you know. So be honest with yourself. Is that what you really want? Are you in for the long haul? And ask every question that you need to ask, whether it feels uncomfortable to you
Mhm.
or not. You need to know because you invest in your life. You invest in your life. That's all you got. You know, you invest in your life. So that's my take, man, for now.
And by you saying that right there, it reminds me of the group that they call themselves the Hebrew Israelites or the Israelites,
Okay.
where
Yeah.
polygamy and having more than one wife. You understand? And a lot of women be like, girl, she crazy. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be in no relationship like that. Well, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and not realizing that these people a lot of times have sit down and communicated that, okay, this is what we're gonna do, this is how we're gonna do it. I'm gonna have two,
Mm-hmm.
three wives or whatever, whatever. And then on the other hand, the young lady that's saying, she's not gonna be in no relationship with two, three other women with just one and not realizing that a lot of times it's just that the guy is not being truthful and she don't
Yeah.
realize that she's in a relationship with two or three other women. It's
Yeah.
just that the man is not being truthful, and that's just a fact a lot of times. So we got to mature, and like I said it from the top and then you reiterate it, man, it's time to start being truthful and being honest. And what happens a lot of times that we've been so westernized with our thinking to the
Yeah. Yeah.
point, yeah, we've been so westernized to it just supposed to be the man and the woman. And a lot of times you have to mature into that. You have to get to the point of life where either you can been through a lot or you just sick and tired of being sick and tired and you ready to find that one person where you just can sit down and chill. But that comes with a certain maturity. You understand? That
Yeah.
ain't
Yeah.
that just not off the rip of you trying to live her fantasy dream of the prince come in and sweep her off her feet and she get the white picket fence with the how many children and this. Man, we have to wake up in reality that we have to grow and mature into a lot of these things that are being pushed on us to dive into. We have to mature to those things. So I hope that go back and look at those numbers and look at the things that I said that really tear a relationship up and really tear a marriage apart. And you can go to divorce.com, look up this information.
Mm.
Um, LegalZoom.com. They take a lot of statistics. You can go pull this up. So I'm giving you where you can even go pull this information up and read it for yourself. I always want to have a reference somewhere you can go. You be like, well, he just called. No, I'm not just calling out numbers. You can go pull it up.
Mm.
Divorce.com will give you these numbers. LegalZoom.com will give you these numbers. So you can go pull it up for yourself. Now, these are just some of the top reasons that I just gave for people to split up. Now you still have like 55% of people that call themselves being in distant relationships, and it causes a lack of physical intimacy. So
Intimacy. True.
yeah, that
True.
causes a stray sometimes. Then you have 53% of us are having communication problems between the partners and I'm sure that number they need to check on that number right there because a lot I'm
Gotta
sure
be
that
higher
number,
than that.
man, that number they got it at
Gotta be higher
53%
than that.
because that's one thing that we cannot do, and that's where the truth. You can't even tell the truth a lot of times because you know that the truth is going to cause a conflict. You can't tell it. You cannot tell the truth because you know for a fact, and then some people can't handle the truth. That saying in that movie is something else. Some people you cannot tell the truth. You don't want to tell them the truth because you know it's either going to hurt them or it's gonna cause a conflict. But they got that at 53 percent of communication problem between. They got 40% of money disagreements. You know, they got 37%. Yeah, they got that just said 40% money disagreements. And I know that's a big problem. And then they got 37. You spoke on that earlier about the money. And you always speak on that about the finance
Yeah,
because
money, man,
it
it's
plays a big
real. It's
part.
so real, especially now. It's all around us. We can see it. Who wants to see it can see it. It's around us, man. That money thing is tricky. Very tricky now, man. Just reading this piece where they talk about the housing market, but they describe it like it's like we're close to a cliff
Mm,
because you have people that already own their home. Well, they still pay the mortgage, so technically they don't own the home. But people that in their homes are not willing to give it up, sell it because the interest rate's so high, right? And they're not willing to come down low, to entice the buyers. So whatever's out there is going so high, the average person got to be bringing in. I'm talking about basic now, minimum. Average person got to bring in, single person, about 118, 120,000 in order to qualify. You know what I mean? For I think about a $400,000 home, because that's the average we have. So when you talk about the money thing, that yeah, man, that's what we are.
and that's
And I
gonna
know a few people, I know a few people who's significant other, well, not significant, but wives talking about they want bigger homes.
wow,
So
wow.
I'm just
Yeah,
saying, you
yeah.
got to pay attention to what's going on around you, you know. And now maybe it's not a good time to make a move like that, but if you feel you can handle it, hey man, you know. But yeah,
Wow.
that's what we are,
That money definitely plays a
you
big
know.
part. It plays a big part. It's one of the major things. And another major thing that we don't think about a lot of time because and I'm giving these numbers out because I'm gonna give you some in a minute. I'm gonna share some with you. 37% because one is having a personal problem. A lot of times we connecting with folks and we don't understand that they dealing with a personal problem that they haven't let out yet, and it's so sad sometimes that you end up getting in that
Yeah,
relationship and
you
you
got to
end up,
experience that.
yeah, and you got
You ain't
it.
sign up for that, you ain't sign up for that, but that's where you are now. So what you gonna do? You know?
Coach, they got it at 34%. One partner is not getting enough attention, so you're not paying your male or
Yeah,
female enough attention. That's going to cause a
attention.
problem. 29% of their partner, they saying that they have bad habits. You're taking on a bad habit. And 24% are having sexual issues. So whatever issues somebody may be having, because they got it at 24% are having sexual issues.
Speaking of that, something popped up, and I didn't even know we are gonna touch on this subject. I'm always reading something, man. So
Absolutely.
something always popping up, and it literally said, "Good sex to make you fall in love with the wrong person." I swear to God, that's what it said. Good sex could make you fall in love with the wrong person.
I see that. Yeah, I
You
see that
know,
through
you know,
observation. I see
you
that.
know.
Yeah,
That literally ruin your life now.
yeah, yeah,
So I'm just saying, people,
yeah. I've heard it. I've heard it
vet
over
your
the years.
folks, man. Be patient. Really pay attention to the stuff that pop up, man. Don't push it aside. Don't say he can change, she can change. I ain't saying they can't, but I'm saying if it could be devastating to your life as well, you want to take that chance? Okay, go ahead. Your life, man.
Coach, you can also study and find that the presence of mental disorder is in one of the spouses at 20%. Some type of mental disorder. And you know, blacks deal with a lot of past trauma. We
No,
deal with a
true.
lot of past trauma.
Still
So
present trauma too.
present trauma,
Present trauma too.
absolutely still going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, yeah,
So imagine if
yeah.
it can compound. So you got your past trauma on you that you haven't healed from, and now what has happened that brings it right up to date, and that's happening now that it's compound on to what you already dealing with. Listen, man, that's what you see in our community. You see a lot of
Mm.
past trauma, and you see a lot of trauma that people are dealing with right now. And so sometimes the couple themselves both, sometimes the couple themselves are both dealing with some type of mental disorder. So
Mm.
what make you think that that's gonna work? Would you believe that 43% of couples doesn't have compatibility? I would look for that to even be higher.
Situationship. That's what I'm saying. Situationship that they call in relationship. You know what I mean? That's just real. You know.
Coach, they saying 43% of us coming together, being in a relationship or a marriage, have nothing in common. We did it based on love. We have
So-called love. So-called love.
so called because a lot of us don't even understand love because I've literally dealt with guys in prison who told me that they killed their girlfriend or their wife because they loved her.
No, man.
I've
They
had
actually said that?
absolutely, they did it because of love. Just like I've had young ladies that I've dealt with say that they busted the windows out and busted the tires and they did all this crazy stuff. They say they did it because of love. Absolutely. Absolutely, coach. I've
You
had
don't
people,
destroy what you love, man. You don't hurt or destroy what you well, the definition I know what love is.
it's a strong liking.
You don't hurt or destroy what you love. Period. That's just what I
Yeah.
know. So, you
We
know.
got we got that love thing messed up. And then it shows right here where you can pull it up under that divorce.com. Black men and women has the highest divorce rate at 22.6 and 24.5 respectively. And in the religious sector, the Protestants and the Christians has the highest divorce rate in the world at 51%.
Say what?
Yes, sir. It's you can pull this information up. You can go to legal.zoom.com, legalzoom.com,
.com, yeah.
and you can pull this information up where you will see in the religious sector, the Protestants and the Christians has the highest divorce rate in the world at 51%. You can go pull it up. Now, let me share before we get out of here, coach. And I hope everybody can remember some of the things that we went over. But let me share very briefly how to make your relationship, a marriage work. First thing you have to remember that it takes more than love. That's the first thing you got to remember. That's the first thing you got to remember. It takes more than love. If you want to make your marriage or your relationship work, this how you do it. All the things that I just shared with you, you see that there's a problem. You have to first be true to yourself. That's number one. Then all the things that I just gave you that there's a problem with, you have to make sure that you do the opposite of what's causing the problem. In other words, if you have a lack of commitment, then don't be in a relationship or don't get married until you're ready to make a commitment. If you know you're going to be skipping out on your wife or your husband, in other words, don't do it. Be truthful to yourself. This will solve a lot of the problems of your relationship and your marriage. If you just go the opposite of what tears a relationship and marriage up. And you may just not be ready to be in a relationship or marriage. So whoever you start dealing with, just be honest with them. Believe me, in this whole big old world, you'll find somebody to go along with what you want to do.
True. True.
Because if you mess around and tell a lie just to get this person, eventually it's gonna come out. If you're cheating, if you're doing this, eventually it's gonna come out. So now, where you could have took care of that in the beginning of the relationship, and now if they don't want to agree or do it, then you just don't do it. Now you're gonna find yourself in that percentage where there's a highest of the infidelity, the lack of commitment. You see how these numbers got
Yeah,
high?
yeah, yeah.
These numbers got high because we are not truthful and honest to ourselves and honest to the person that we're in the relationship or the marriage with. That's why the numbers are so high, because we are simply not ready to be in a relationship or marriage. It's that simple. We complicate things. You have to remember, I work with children every day, so I have to simplify things. Then my mind is to take things to the least common denominator. I'm a thinker. I'm going to sit down for a long time and I'm going to think. I'm going to think about the problem and then I'm going to think about a solution. So the reason our marriages and relationships are not working is because we're not being honest with ourselves and we're not being honest with our partners. It's shit simple. We're not ready to be in a relationship one on one. That takes maturity. That takes you, and I've been telling you from the beginning, that takes you tapping into your immaterial part of yourself, because that's where your discipline, your self-control, your tonight, that's where all of that comes from within you. That's a certain mindset that you have to tap into. That's a certain spiritual being that you have to tap into. And if you don't tap into that mindset and that spiritual being, here's a fact: you will not be in a successful relationship or a marriage. And I don't care who get offended, who get mad. Show me where I'm wrong. The number I just read, that's why I read so many numbers. That's why I read the numbers to show you the problem. Now here's the solution. Go opposite of the numbers. Whatever the numbers telling you that there's a problem, go opposite. If it's telling you that 90% of love is not doing it, that lets you know I got to put something else with my caring. Me just talking about I love the person is not going to do it, because I really don't understand what love is.
Mm.
Yeah, I can tap into my feelings and emotions, and I'm using this love thing. So I'm going to leave it like this right here. How to make your relationship or your marriage work. Go through some of the things I just gave and do the opposite of them. And if you're not ready to do the opposite, to make that commitment, be honest with yourself and be truthful to yourself. It'll save you a lot of heartaches in the long run. I promise you. Coach, I'm done. You got it.
Mm. A lot of people want to have their cake and eat it too, man.
Absolutely.
And that's
Absolutely.
where it becomes a sticky situation. You know, you also, from what I observed, listening to conversation, a lot of folks, because of the economic situation, they stay with a situation they don't want to be a part of because they can't stand on their own 2 feet. And that's you talking about both genders now, male and female now, because it's that rough out here, you know.
Mhm.
So at some point in time, you're gonna have to deal with what you don't want to deal with. You know what I mean? You don't want to be here with this person, and you're only here because the economic aspect of it. At some point in time, you know, you're gonna have to deal with that. Some situation, someone's gonna pull your card. What you gonna do? You know what you gonna do? You be honest, man. You know, you gotta grind to shine. Then hey, man, if you gotta work 2, 3 jobs, whatever, be able to stand on your own 2 feet, man. You know, do not go in a situation if you can help it. Not go in a situation for economic reasons. You know, and that's all. That ain't fair to that person. You know. So if they find that out, now they decide to cut ties. What you can do?
Hmm.
You know, we talking about a whole big explosion, man. Be honest with yourself, man. This life is a journey, and treat people the way you want to be treated. Because you talking about someone investing their life, they're intermingling their life with yours, man. You know, for me, if it does not elevate, I don't want no parts of it. That's just me. Y'all can talk all the love stuff y'all want to talk, but no, if it doesn't elevate my life, put my life in a whole better situation, you know, I don't want no parts of it. You know, that's the way I see that. So be honest with yourself, treat people the way you want to be treated, and hey, be honest with your partner. Be honest, whoever, let them know. You know, we know some people can't handle the truth, but hey, what you gonna do? They either handle it now or they handle it later.
So,
That's your choice, man. You know, so that's my take, man.
well, coach, I'm gonna leave it right there and I'm gonna go work on myself. So,
And we need some females too, man. From female perspective,
man,
female, where y'all at, man?
call them out, man. We waiting on them.
Grown women, where y'all at? We know your perspective too, man. Come on, man.
Absolutely. Shoot up. There's my email address for any females. Would love to come on. There's guys too, but coach called out the females. There's my email address. Let's make it happen and we'll do it. So, coach, until the next time, I'll holler.
All right, same here, man. Take care.